The moment I realized my marriage was truly over wasn't when I spotted the lipstick-stained glass in the sink, or when her phone lit up with messages at 2 a.m. It was the night she stood in front of me, slipped into her black dress, and said with cold certainty, "I need something more thrilling than sitting at home with you." Then she walked out the door to a party, and in a way, I ceased to exist. Let me back up. My name is Aaron, and for 7 years, I believed I had built a life with a woman I adored more than life itself. Claire, radiant, magnetic, the kind of person who could make strangers feel like old friends. I once thought her energy completed me. Now I know it only blinded me. The signs started small. Cancelled dinners, late nights at work, a growing emptiness between us. I told myself it was just stress, a temporary rough patch. But rough patches don't last 2 years. What was happening wasn't a storm. It was her slow drift into a world where I didn't belong. One Saturday night, I made her favorite meal, garlic butter salmon, and set the table, candles and all. She emerged from the bedroom dressed like she was heading to a nightclub. Going somewhere? I asked, forcing a half smile. Yes, she said without hesitation. There's a party. Everyone will be there. You wouldn't like it. I looked at the table I'd prepared. So, dinner. She barely glanced at it, her expression indifferent. You can eat without me, she said. My chest tightened. We barely spend time together anymore. What's happening to us? Her face hardened, her voice sharp. What's happening is I'm suffocating here. I want excitement. I want passion. I want to feel alive again. Her words cut me open. So what am I? I asked, my voice shaking. Her lips twisted into a smirk I'll never forget. You're safe. But safe is boring. That was the moment I knew. Our marriage had been dead for a long time. While she went to that party to chase her thrills, I made my choice. I disappeared. No note. No forwarding address. I shut off my phone, withdrew my share of our savings, and drove until the night swallowed me. By sunrise, I was 3 states away. For weeks, I drifted, cheap motels, rented rooms, odd jobs to keep myself afloat. I didn't want to hear her voice begging for another chance, pulling me back into her orbit. Then one night, staring at my reflection in a cracked motel mirror, I saw a hollow man staring back. No more, I told him. If Claire wanted to chase excitement, let her. I would build something real, a life entirely my own. The next 2 years were brutal. I worked construction by day, studied business at night, scraped together small contracts until I could start my own company. I poured every ounce of heartbreak, anger, and determination into creating something she could never touch. It wasn't glamorous, but money started coming in. I moved from the dingy motel to a sleek condo with a view of the city. My body grew stronger from long hours of work and the gym. Piece by piece, I became someone new. But at night, her words haunted me. Safe is boring. I swore no one would ever say that about me again. 2 years later, life came full circle. At a business gala celebrating a huge deal, I stood in a tailored suit, confident and calm. And across the shimmering room, I saw her. Claire. She hadn't aged well. The radiance that once captivated me was gone, dulled by late nights and shallow living. Her eyes flickered with unease, her shoulders hunched as if life had taken something from her too. And for the first time, I didn't feel anger. I didn't feel pain. I simply felt free. She carried herself with authority, but there was a crack of desperation beneath the surface. Then her gaze landed on me. The wine glass in her hand nearly slipped. Aaron. I offered a polite, almost distant smile. Claire. Her eyes swept over me, wide with disbelief. You look different. Successful. Not what you expected to see. I finished for her. Her lips quivered. I thought you were gone. You never answered my calls, my texts. You left me for a party, I said evenly. What was there to say? The words struck her like a physical blow. She leaned in, her voice dropping to a near whisper. I made a mistake, Aaron. A huge mistake. I thought I wanted excitement, but it was empty. I thought about you every single day. Please, can we talk? I studied her for a moment. This was the same woman who once shattered me. And for an instant, I felt that old ache, that familiar sting of heartbreak. Part of me wanted to shout, to demand answers, to tell her how deeply she had broken me. But the man I had become stayed composed. "There's nothing to talk about, Claire," I said quietly but firmly. "You made your choice. And I made mine." Tears welled in her eyes. "But I miss you. Miss us. We can try again." "Us?" I interrupted. "There hasn't been an us in a very long time. The night you walked out for that party, you ended it." She reached for my hand, but I stepped back. I could see it clearly now, not love in her eyes, but regret. Regret for losing the stability she once had. Regret for realizing too late that I wasn't going to stay frozen in place, waiting for her to return. But I hadn't been waiting. I had rebuilt myself, stronger, wiser. "I hope you find whatever it is you're still looking for," I told her softly. "But it won't be me." Then I turned and left. That night, standing on my balcony with the city glowing endlessly below, I felt something I hadn't felt in years: peace. Her tears hadn't healed me, her apologies hadn't mended the past. But they had given me something far better: closure. She had left me once for a moment of fleeting fun. And when she came back, empty-handed and broken, I realized something powerful. The greatest revenge isn't anger or bitterness. It isn't even forgiveness. It's becoming so whole, so alive, that the one who betrayed you becomes nothing more than a shadow of your old life. And me? I was no longer the man who sat waiting at that candlelit table, staring at cold salmon and wondering what went wrong. I was someone new. Someone free.